Now, when I was young, I would leave strings on for quite a while, and my big fear was that when I put a new set of strings on, they would be going out of tune. Now, the reason for that was probably, one, I didn't lubricate all the friction points on the guitar, two, that I didn't put the string on properly, and I think it's imperative that people know how to put a string on properly. Quite often you see clusters of string up and around the machine head, virtually like a rat's nest. You've got windings all folded over each other, so consequently they're not going to actually settle for a long time. Another good practice, which should be religion, is every time you put strings on is to actually give it a bit of a pull. And obviously you can pull on a bass string harder than you can pull on a treble string, but what you're doing there is settling the string. I've just put on a bass E string on there. Now, if I bring that up to pitch, if I pull on that string, it'll drop in pitch. If I pull on it again, it'll drop a little less in pitch. A little less. I've nearly stabilised the string. And partly that's due to the fact that I've locked the string. And in that way you can stabilise the string pretty quickly. So basically my general rule of thumb is to take it to the next machine head. I don't use a great amount of string. I then put a right angle bend in it. I take the loose end around, underneath the main part of the string, keep it firm on the post. Then I hook the main part of the string, so I'm putting tension on there, and then I gently lift that up. What I don't want to do, the first thing that I actually do is put the post head hole at that angle, because what I don't want to do is not have enough tension on there and drag everything to the wrong side of the hole. And then consequently, the harder I pull, the harder it'll bite on that loose end. So I can literally put a set of strings on before a gig and I've got no problems whatsoever. Some people do like the rounded off sound of an older string, but then again you've got a point where, depending on the person's acidity levels, whether or not they wash their hands, all those sort of things that'll contribute to deteriorating a string will potentially go flat over a period of time. So I like a new bright sounding set of strings. I'm predominantly playing Stratocasters most of the time, and I like the top end, the bite, to be there. A dull string doesn't really get me. When I was young, I used to use 10 to 52, which is a pretty firm gauge of string, but in my more mature years I've dropped down to 9 to 46, which again is a lighter treble side to the bass side, but it's a lighter gauge, and I don't tend to use the gusto that I used to use when I was a young kid. The other footnote to string gauge is that there's no right and wrong with string gauge, but a lighter string is more sustained. A lighter string won't accept physical power because it's lighter, and you can tend to push it out of tune. So people that are heavy-handed, it is better to gravitate towards a heavier string. But a lighter string, if you've got a bit more control and not using too much power, you can use speed and you can use snap, but power sometimes will give that first millisecond of a string a very out of tune tonality. And again, you'll get more sustain out of a lighter string, and to a certain degree, a lighter string over a long period of time will be more forgiving on the instrument.